These are the WMEA audition excerpts, track 4, Brahms Clarinet Sonata No. 1, Movement 4. I'm Shannon Scott, the clarinet professor at Washington State University. This is one of our most treasured pieces of music in our entire repertoire. Brahms wrote this at the end of his life for a wonderful clarinetist who was also one of his good friends. So we treasure this work, and it's a very exciting and rewarding work. By the way, you need an excellent pianist to perform this work. The tempo indicated is half note equals 112. In my experience, most people don't play it that fast. This is, however, the tempo that WMEA has indicated. Once again, play the tempo where you play cleanly and accurately. We start with a call to everybody to get excited about what's going to happen. So in this opening call, it's really important that you play forte on the C sharp, on the high D, and then on the lower D as well. In order to make the lower D sound as loud as the high D, you usually have to play the lower D louder. Another important thing about this opening call is that I state you do not use your pinky on a C sharp, a high C sharp. If you use your pinky on a high C sharp, it goes up by a quarter tone. I'll demonstrate. C sharp without a pinky, C sharp with a pinky. So in my books, a C sharp with a pinky is a wrong note. Now, in order to play the lower D louder than the higher D, try leaving the pinky off the high D as well. This is what will sound like. That way the high D loses some of its brightness and your lower D can be as loud. Your next call is in piano, somewhat like an echo, as if you'd heard this in the mountains, the Alps perhaps. Now, grazioso means graciously. And so as you enter into the grazioso, important that you not play in a heavy fashion. Okay, that's not what's being called for. Grazioso, graciously. All right, and then when you get to the end of measure 7, you see another word, leggero. That means lightly. So going along with the grazioso, that means that our staccato notes are going to be light and delightful, not heavy. Okay, so nice and light. Now we get something interesting. The end of measure 8, we get an accent. Brahms had quite a sense of humor. And this is a little titter that he's doing here, this little accent. Now, because you're in piano, this accent is only going to be at mezzo piano. So again, this is not a Sousa forte accent. This is a giggle accent of mezzo piano. Okay, please don't leave it out. It's a charming little item that Brahms puts in here. Now we get to measure 15 and 16. And these can be pretty challenging. You will see on the recording I made that I choose to use the left hand B, then the right hand C sharp. I find these to be more reliable than using the right hand B and the left hand C sharp. Now here's the other thing I do in here. I leave my right hand C sharp key down once I put it down on the downbeat of 16. And I will do this slow motion, and please watch this right hand pinky. And I'm sorry, I should have said the downbeat of 15. So keeping that right hand key down makes it a lot easier to move around this awkward throat area accurately and with good legato. This doesn't create a noticeable difference in pitch or tone on the lower notes, and it makes it quite a bit smoother. If you're not used to this technique, it can take a while, but I think it will be very helpful for you. Once again, we have the grazioso, In measure 19, you can assume that the grazioso returns. We have those light and happy staccatos coming into 21. We have the little giggle accent at the end of 21. But then we go into the exciting call again. And as you do this, keep in mind that the lower notes will sound softer unless you make sure that your air carries through the end of the measure and whenever we're on the lower part of the instrument. So the D, C, and B don't make a diminuendo. So here we come to measure 26, and I call these bell tones because we're going to want to ring that bell in the call. Okay, so make sure that we hear the accents 3 times in a row. And in measure 29, the same thing, 3 bell tones in a row. The last thing I'm going to tell you about has to do in measure 27 and then in measure 29. You don't know this because you're not playing this with piano, but the end of the excerpt is handed off to a piano, that 88-key instrument that can play a lot louder than us. And that piano finishes the phrase for us and makes the climax. So it's important not to make a diminuendo on the D, C, A. Okay, so I'm going to first demonstrate with a diminuendo, which doesn't make musical sense. So if you just play it as it comes, you get a natural diminuendo. That doesn't work for the phrase. So you're going to boost the D, C, and A in order to send the phrase over to the pianist. So in that way, you're going to demonstrate a more advanced musical knowledge of this wonderful piece in our repertoire.